Hi guys, it's Carly and I'm back to do our assignment 9 video. So for the first part, we're supposed to respond to that quote, which I personally really enjoyed. I like that quote. I think that all students need to learn, and it's up to us to find their language of learning. And so what I connected with how all students need to learn and what's something that kind of prevents that in the classroom is I pulled from my own experience of I'm a second grade self-contained teacher, which means I teach reading, writing, math, science, social studies, handwriting, spelling, conduct, and something health, like 9 things. And it's really hard to focus on one student's individual needs and what helps them succeed when you have a mass amount of subjects. I think that it's important to note that at my campus also, I know I've said it in our previous posts, that it's focused on data. And really, our administration is looking at students as a number as opposed to a person, a student. And instead of tracking growth, we're just looking at numbers. And I think that's also a detriment to looking into a whole child and what helps every student succeed. Because when you're just a number, your needs can't be met. You know, there's things that we, as a teacher, I've tried to incorporate, but the administration has shut them down. So, you know, innovation for teachers when your creativity is stifled, I think is also something else that will affect teaching to all students because, as I said, like, you need to be able to give that individual attention to learn the language that your child speaks when learning. And that, yeah, it's hard to do that when you have a 22 class size and you have a bunch of subjects to teach. So that's how I feel about the first part of the video. And for the second part, sorry, I had to look at my notes. So I'm a very kinesthetic person. I'm very hands-on. So when I think of a lesson that really stuck out to me and made me really want to extend beyond what the objective of the lesson was in high school. My physics teacher had us do the you created something that keeps an egg safe from when you drop it. We dropped it off the top of the bleachers, so like 12, 15 feet up. And what I think was so innovative about this lesson was how he presented it. And that ties into our book, is if you want to look this up, or I'm sure you know this because you've read it, on page 112, it talks about essential questions. And I really connected with that because this teacher chose to lead the lesson with just essential questions. It was, you know, how are you going to construct a structure to protect an egg from a drop of 15 feet? And from there, he just led it with more questions. It was very questioning and very innovative in that we kind of led the practice and it was just guided by his questions. So I think that's a really important piece of this chapter to maintain. It's that, you know, questioning can really help develop creative and critical thinking. And that leads into the second connection I made, which was from chapter 4, which is on page 94, if you're curious. And it's about how the real-world problem connections. He set this up like we were engineers who were developing a system that astronauts could send things back to from space without breaking. And that was the whole project. And I love that it had complete creative and critical control up to the student. We could use whatever materials we wanted. We could build it however we wanted. It could be however big, however small. It didn't matter. It only focused on our objective and was to get the egg safely to the ground. And I just think it was really great to have that because as a kinesthetic learner, I have experienced much of my academic career is, you know, visual and auditory geared because that's how a lot of people learn. And I can remember always just being constantly bored in class because I am very hands-on and engaging. So this is something that really sticks out because this lesson provided all learners an opportunity to express through their own learning language and learn something new. So yeah, those are my thoughts on assignment 9, and I can't wait to read and the comments that you guys leave and comment on your videos. Have a great night.